Alright, in Chapter 10, page 290, there's a whole page on student locker searches. I want to caution you on this one. As a classroom teacher, I would never be involved in searching a student's locker or bag or clothes. I would want to get administration, principal, assistant principal, guidance counselor, somebody else to come down. I would sound the alarm, but I wouldn't want to be the one doing the searching. I almost think that is a conflict of interest. I'm not sure how the relationship would be between you and the child for the rest of the year. I had, when Mr. Serial Killer Man, when he was in the classroom, we came back from lunch one day and he said, Ms. Smith, I need to tell you there's a gun in your room. Well, this is Mr. Serial Killer Man, you know, he tells all kinds of tales, and yeah, okay, all right, whatever, Mr. Serial Killer Man. And then he starts describing it very thorough. And something about it, it was just too many details for me to deny that maybe he was telling the truth. And so as soon as I got them in the classroom, I used my phone and called up to the office. Our principal was out that day, but the lady who was in charge came down. I told her what the situation was. She came down and walked in the room, and she was like, everybody get your bags out. I'm going through everybody's stuff. And when that happened, I just backed out of the classroom. I don't want to be a part of that. I'm not sure legally she did that the proper way with all of them, making all of them do that. There was no more questioning the child about the gun. And I know the gun is serious. Don't get me wrong there. But if you're not very careful with the searching of students and their belongings, you could get into a really big lawsuit with some parents who would say you don't have authorization to do that. It's the privacy stuff, those kinds of things. So I backed out. It was a pellet gun. It's a loaded pellet gun that they found, and it had been passing around in my room for 3 days. And the students were paying kids $1 to keep their mouth shut and not tell on them. Well, Mr. Serial Killer Man had used his dollar more than once already, and so he was trying to make the maximum. So he threatened to tell, and they wouldn't pay him anymore. So he did tell me, and I guess they thought that I wouldn't believe him. So that was handled. But I want to caution you on this one. Be very careful. Any time that you can walk away from this and let the higher-ups do this, I would advise you to do so. In general, the Fourth Amendment protects individuals from search without a warrant, without a court order warrant. Schools have the right to conduct searches and seize contraband or reasonable suspicious without a warrant. So if we suspect something as the gun, we can do a search. Once again, I would advise you to let administration do that. School officials are advised to have students remove contents from their clothing rather than having a teacher or administrator do it, because if you're in their pockets, they could say you touched them wrong or sexually made advances on them, all kinds of stuff. So most definitely I would never remove the things for them, nor would I do a pat down. That's one of the reasons I'm saying pull in administration to do these things. A further caution is not to force students to remove all their clothing or undress to their underwear. That ought to make sense. Never ever, I don't know, maybe, if you're a ball coach, you might be tempted to do that. I would never ever ask that. The best thing I can tell you is get administration. Get them down there. Let them lead the charge. Let it be their idea of what needs to happen. I can tell you in the middle school and high school, there are locker searches, and they'll bring the dogs in there unannounced. The school go on lockdown while the dogs are in the building and circle around the cars, and they're able to identify if there's any kind of contraband or anything that's out there that shouldn't be. So let the people who know how to do this, and you just report if you think there's something, but let someone else actually handle the search. That's my advice.